All right, I'd like to welcome you to Mike Stubbins Baseball, Talking Baseball. Um, this is something on our website we would like to do every 2 or 3 weeks. We'd like to put up a new segment of Talking Baseball, and it really is a very informal session. As you observe, it's not something we've scripted. I teach hitting for a living, basically, and have done it for 40 years. And we're talking hitting all the time with individuals, with small groups, with other coaches, informal sessions, informal sessions. Unfortunately, my boring life is all about hitting. And the thing that we've noticed over the years, there are some tremendous information about the baseball swing out there. Lee Trevino said a number of years ago about the golf swing, there are no more secrets of the golf swing. Everything about the golf swing, through the use of video studies, using high-speed cameras, everything about the golf swing has been revealed. There's all the information's out there. And you know what? It's the same thing with the baseball swing. When I started with the late Kenny Myers in 1969, working with Kenny on hitting, on a scale of 0 to 10, the information about the baseball swing was probably 1 on a scale of 0 to 1 to 10. And the acceptance and the dissemination of that information was probably 0.5 on a scale of 1 to 10. There wasn't a lot of, or 0 to 10, there wasn't a lot of information. And what little information there was wasn't widely known among many people. Today, on a scale of 1 to 10, the information about the baseball swing is a 10 plus. All the information you would ever want to know about the baseball swing is out there. On the other hand, the acceptance and dissemination, too big of words for me to use back to back, is about 3 on a scale of 0 to 10. So if you get on the internet and you go through the various studies that have been done, the various tapes that have been done, videos have been done about the baseball swing, there is everything you'd ever want to know about the swing is there. The problem is, for every site that offers you the correct information, there's 5 or 10 sites that offer you information that it's misinformation, and it's just not correct information. The question is, how do I, as a layperson, I as a parent, I as a young player trying to become a better hitter, or I as a coach, how do I take the good information and separate it from the bad information? Well, it's not that difficult, because I have spent 40 years, 3 years with Kenny Myers to start, and then since Kenny passed away for 37 years, I have pursued a knowledge of hitting. Everything that Kenny taught me, I've questioned 1,000 times. And the one nice thing about all the scientific studies that have been done on hitting support everything Kenny Myers has done 100% down the line. And for you as somebody who's trying to acquire this knowledge, you don't have to spend 40 years doing it. All you have to do is observe. Sit in the morning. When you pick up your morning newspaper, you will see a picture of a hitter getting a winning base hit. You'll see a hitter hitting a home run, and they'll show it stop action, right at contact. They'll show him right before, right at the beginning of the swing, at the end of the swing. You turn on Major League Baseball, or you watch baseball games on television, you will see every night, you will see repeatedly game-winning base hits and home runs, and you'll see the swing from beginning to end. They'll show it to you in slow motion. They'll show it to you in stop action. If you can see it for yourself. For instance, when we say good hitters swing up at the ball, you can see it. If we say nobody hits off their front foot, their head over their front foot, you can see it. So if you can't see it, and if it doesn't make sense, then it's not true. If you want to acquire a knowledge of hitting, sit down in front of your computer, turn on baseball instruction, baseball hitting instruction. You'll see all kinds of information out there, some of it for free, some of it you have to pay for, but it's there for you. You will also see film, video studies where somebody's demonstrating contact position, and it's not true. They'll tell you one thing and they'll show you something completely different. What you see them show you and what you actually see a hitter do are 2 different things. So you believe not so much what you hear, but what you see. For instance, one of the things I've noticed is you never see correctly demonstrated the proper contact position. In going through various websites, I have seen so many demonstrations of when you hit a baseball, you're like this. Well, nobody's like this. When you hit a baseball, you're like this. There's a popular book, a new book on hitting out. I was in Barnes & Noble's. I was going through the latest book on hitting, and a former All-Star, he may be in the Hall of Fame. He shows you, he demonstrates how you hit at contact position, how you hit, and you turn the page over, and he's hitting a home run, and he's in a completely different position. So I believe my eyes. I believe what I see. So it's not terribly difficult to pull the good information out from the bad information. Believe your eyes. Now, I can tell you many things about hitting. For instance, I can say good hitters stand on their head, hold the bat with their feet, and swing. Well, you're not going to teach your boy to do that. On the other hand, if I showed you Vladimir Guerrero and Barry Bonds and Ted Williams standing on their head, swinging their feet, I guarantee you that you would teach your boy to do that. But obviously, they don't do that. So you saying something and actually proving it are two different things. And the proof is in exactly what you see. For instance, again, we get back to constantly, if you tune into this website, turn into this website, we talk constantly about swinging up at the ball. The baseball swing is like the Nike line, okay? And the reason that's true is because the ball is traveling down. Therefore, you have to swing up to parallel the flight of the ball. Ted Williams in his book talks about up, 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 why up, because the ball's traveling down, down, down. And I have said many times before on this site, I've had many people tell me to be a good hitter, you have to swing down at the ball. And I've had people say to me, I have evidence, I have visual evidence that good hitters swing down. Nobody's ever brought me any visual evidence. And I can bring you all kinds, and you can look for yourself on the video. There are so many sites, websites that demonstrate to you that good hitters swing up. There's not a single one out there. Now, you do see things, for instance, I was watching and here's believing your eyes. I was watching a report from one of the spring training camps, and they had a hitting instructor working big league hitters, and they had two balls on a tee. They had a ball here, they had a ball here, and they had a ball here. And what they said was, this ball was lower than this ball. The pitcher's there. And they said, well, they were practicing swinging down a tee. In other words, you should be able to hit this ball and never touch this ball. And I'm sitting there watching this with another coach, and I said, that's great off a batting tee. But you can't hit a baseball that way when a pitcher throws it. Because the ball, since the ball is traveling down, if I set a ball on a tee here and a ball on a tee here, if I swing the way I would at a pitch ball, guess what? I would hit both of those balls. As a matter of fact, what would happen is if you put a ball on a series of tees from the catcher's glove, it would be here, 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 progressively higher, and a good swing would hit every single one of those balls. And it's there for you. All you have to do is get on your computer, look at these various websites, and you will see any number. I found 3 or 4 just sitting the other day demonstrating the fact that you have to swing up to be a good hitter. And this is everything in baseball. When you talk about staying back, the late Charlie Lau said when you hit a baseball, your head's over your front foot. You'll never see it. His #1 student, George Brett, his head was over his back knee just like everybody else. You have to stay behind the ball. You won't see, the only time you'll ever see somebody with a head on their front foot is when they're fooled badly by a pitch and have to move forward to reach the ball. So again, everything we tell you, when we tell you hitters do this, it's there for you to see. If you can't see it, and if it doesn't make sense to you, for instance, if it makes sense to you to swing down, then what you have to do is you have to say, okay, if that makes sense, go to see if you can find some supportive evidence. One of the things I was reading the other day about, I was reading about Albert Einstein and some of his theories. And one of the things they talked about in proving in science, proving a theory, is one of the ways you prove a theory is if you develop a theory, then you take the opposite side and try to disprove that theory. And it's the same thing in hitting. If somebody says to me, okay, I believe that you have to swing up to hit a baseball. So you know what? I've gone out and I've thought about it and I've tried to disprove that theory. I've tried to find people swinging down. I've tried to find physical evidence that you have to swing down in order to disprove what I believe. And you know what? I have never been able to disprove it, and I've tried. And that's what you have to do. Believe your eyes. Thank you.